Ayan, so isang Yumstastic na hapon, our Yumstastic Cuties mula Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Welcome sa inyong DepEd Itulay online tutorial program.
Ito ay handog sa inyo ng Department of Education sa pangunguna ng Educational Technology Unit.
Hayaan nyo kaming samahan kayo sa isang makabuluhang pag-aaral sa hapong ito.
Kaya naman humanda na at sumamang saliksikin ang hiwaga ng humanidades at naghampan lipunan.
Welcome sa inyong DepEd Itulay online tutorial program. Ako ang inyong Yumstastic tutor na always excited to bring learning.
At ako naman ang inyong Humstastic Tutor G, ang gigil na gigil na kayo ay paglingkuran at matuto sa araw na ito.
Sa subject na philosophy, papalawigin natin ang ating kaalaman sa larangan ng filosofiya because
We learn
we create
and we think
in philosophy. Okay, so last week, Tutor G, last week we announced that we will have our duty of the week. Siya ang duty na nagpakita ng galing at pagiging active sa pagsagot ng mga activity at nakihalahok sa ating mga discussion last week.
Kaya gusto nating batiin, Tutor Aids, ang ating Cutie of the Week na si Lebron James Krausus Tudtud mula sa Humes 11 Plato ng City of Bogo Science and Arts Academy. From City of Bogo, ang kanyang advisor ay si Ray Datiromagos at ang kanilang principal naman po ay si Sir Ranulfo Lanyohan. Congratulations at maraming salamat sa iyong aktibong pagsubaybay at pagsagot sa ating session last week. Napakagaling din ng ating ibang tuties, Tutor Aids.
Ayan, so binabati ko rin, Tutor G, si Lebron James, Tudtud, okay, and also lahat po ng mga nanonood from Quirino National High School, SDO, Isabela. Talaga nga naman, Tutor G, na tayo ay sinusubaybayan din ng mga taga-SDO, Isabela. So maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga tuties na tumututok sa atin tuwing 4 o'clock to 4:40 sa ating subject. Okay, so sa lahat ng tuties natin, malay nyo, next week, kayo naman ang ating maging tutie of the week. So before anything else, Tutor G, I would like to greet my principal from Cabio National High School, our principal po, Ma'am Hilaria Icalma, and our assistant principal, Ma'am Marjorie Gutierrez. Hello po, ma'am.
Hello po, at nais ko din pong batiin ang aming butihing punong guro na si Ma'am Jesusa Dibote at lang lahat ng kawani at mga estudyanteng nakatutok ngayon mula sa Maligaya National High School. Ayan, Tutor Aids.
Ayan, so Tutor G, rather. Welcome, tuties and parents, to our subject, to the introduction to the philosophy of the human person.
Yes, this is our quarter 2, week 2, entitled Intersubjectivity. Muli, amin pong gustong pasalamatan ang DepEd Region 4A Calabarzon para sa module na gagamitin natin today. So this module is also available in DepEd Commons. Ayan.
So before we go on to our lesson, Tutor G, we have here the following objectives. So after going through this module, you are expected to define intersubjectivity. Second one, identify the similarities and differences of intersubjectivity concept of the three philosophers, namely Confucius, Martin Buber, and Karl Wojtyła. Okay, and then explore your intersubjectivity experiences and enhance your relations with people from all walks of life, especially the underprivileged and people with disability.
Yes, Tutor 8. So now let us have a recall, our activity 1. Now, write down the word true if the statement is correct and write the word false if the statement is otherwise. Okay, let's begin.
Okay, so first number natin, Tutor Ju, human actions are always conceived intellectually. Okay, Chuti, alam nyo na ang gagawin natin. So type the number and the correct answer. True or false naman po ang ating hinihingi. So bago natin na siguro nagsasagot pa ang ating mga cuties, batiin natin ang ilang mga viewers natin tulad ni John Allen Liwag from Maligaya National High School, si Christian Manalo from 11 IMP Franklin, si Casey din Macaraeg. Ayan, so may nakita na ako, Tutor G, na sagot. Sabi ni Lorraine, it is true. Okay. And then sabi ni Nicole, true. And si Althea, yung ating guest last week, true. So ano nga ba ang tamang sagot, Tutor G? It is false. Ayan, siguro medyo nalito na lang ating mga students. So assessment lamang po naman ito. So cuties, okay?
Yes. Okay. So, number 2. So, according to Aristotle, acts of man are actions which are deliberately done. Is it true or false? So, write down number 2 with your answer. So, is it true or is it false? Ayan, Tutor Aid. So, marami pa rin tayong mga sumasagot sa ating number 1 kasi meron tayong 1 to 2 second delay sa ating Facebook Live. Kaya okay lang yan. Sige, answer lang, cuties. Huwag kayong mag-alala dahil okay lang ang tama at maling sagot. Wala tayong problema dyan. Ayan, meron na tayong sagot. Si Lorraine de Guzman, ang kanyang sagot ay true. Okay, true ang kanyang sagot. Then we have Jen, ang kanyang sagot naman ay true. Okay, ano nga ba ang tamang sagot, Tutor Aids?
False.
So the correct answer is false. Ayan.
Yan, so medyo nalilito lang siguro ang ating mga cuties because this is just a pre-assessment. Okay lang pong magkamali, cuties, okay? So number 3, freedom and obligation are two distinct philosophical concepts. Right, number 3, and then true or false. Again, freedom and obligation are two distinct philosophical concepts. Ayan, so as I said nga, or Ma'am Tutor G said nga, meron tayong delayed. So medyo nadidelayed yung mga pagsagot ng ating mga cuties. Ayan, nakita ko si Althea. Talagang mabilis si Althea. Sabi niya, number 3, true. Si Samantha Kapatoy, true. Si Dern Cudiera, true. Ayan, medyo pinahihirapan ako ng mga cuties sa kanilang mga names. Ayan, si Nessie, true. So ano nga ba ang tamang sagot, Tutor G? That is true. Ayan, very good, cuties.
Okay, for number 4, a person is totally responsible for an action even if he acted with an impaired conscience. Okay, is it true or false? Okay, so write down number 4 with your answer. If it's true or if it is false. Ayan, so marami pa rin Tutor Aid sumasagot sa number 3. Okay, okay lang yan. Ayan, meron na mga sumagot. So si Lorraine de Guzman, ang kanyang sagot ay true. Si Althea, si Samantha, parehong true. Si Jason Pabero ay true. Ano kaya ang tamang sagot? So, ang tamang sagot, guys, cuties ay false. Ayan.
Ayan, maraming sumasagot ng true, Tutor G. Ito, number 5. A choice is made from freedom if the person totally knows the kind of choice he makes even though unsure with the consequences. So we have a freedom of choice daw sa pagpili ng ating mga decision kahit di natin alam ang mga consequences. Ano ba ito? True or false? Ayan, hinihintay lang natin ang sagot ng ating mga cuties. So meron pa rin sumasagot sa number 4. Nakita ko si Samantha rito. Samantha Kapatoy, sabi niya number 5 is true. Okay. Si Alicia Amoin, number 5 true. Jen, true. Malu, true. So Tutor G, ano nga ba ang tamang sagot? Okay, true. Napakagagaling talaga ng mga cuties natin.
Okay, now let's move on. So, no man is an island. So, we usually hear the saying, no man is an island. There is no doubt that an average person understands this quotation, but despite the universal understanding we have about it, we still express in various ways our beliefs on being with others, Tutor Aids.
So, actually matandang kasabihan na natin yan na Tutor G, that no man is an island. Wala nga namang nabubuhay ng mag-isa lang. So meron tayong mga individual differences. So that's why we have universal understanding about this quotation. But sabi dito, ang nananatiling pagkakaintindi natin dito ay kung paano tayo mabubuhay kasama ang ibang tao. We have varying degrees of affections and regards towards others and to ourselves as well, which may come from our unique experiences of social reality. That's why sabi natin, hindi tayo pwedeng mabuhay nang walang kasama because we are part of a social reality. So that's no man is an island, Tutor G. And then we have here the story, the parable of the son, the parable rather of the good Samaritan from Luke chapter 10 verse 25 to 37 from the New International Version. So the good Samaritan. On one occasion, an expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. Teacher, he asked, what must I do to inherit eternal life? What is written in the law? He replied, how do you read it? He answered, love the Lord your God and all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind. And love your neighbor as yourself. You have answered correctly, Jesus replied. Do this and you will live. But he wanted to justify himself. So he asked Jesus, and who is my neighbor?
Yan yung simula ng ating story, Chutis. So this parable, the Good Samaritan, begins when a law expert begins to ask Jesus, how can he have eternal life? Ayan. At ang sagot ni Jesus, so sabi niya, love the Lord your God with all your heart and your soul and with your strength and with all your mind. Ayan. Tapos sabi niya, also, you also have to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So then this law expert asked, who is my neighbor? So let's see. So let's continue. In reply, Jesus said, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead.
Ayan. So, the story of the Good Samaritan. So, bali sinagot ni Jesus yung tanong ni nung tao, the one who has good in law, na sino ba yung neighbor ko, Jesus? Kasi sabi ni Jesus, love your neighbor. So, in reply, Jesus said, parang nagtell siya ng story. So, the first story na sinabi ni Jesus, there was a man who was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho. Then, inattack siya ng mga magnanakaw and then hinubaran siya, sinuntok siya, and then tumakas at iniwan siya na almost dead or half dead na. So yun yung first story na binigay ni Jesus or first reply ni Jesus about the question, who is my neighbor? So the next, Tutor G. So the next one, a priest happened to be going down the same road. And when saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So too, the Levirate, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side.
Ayun, Tutor A. So dito sa part naman ng ating story, other travelers have seen the man lying by the side of the road. Pero, imbis na tulungan, they only passed him by. Yung isa, he went the other way or the opposite way. So ayan ang nangyari dun sa mga sumalubong or papunta dun sa way nung mama. Okay, so tuloy lang natin. Okay? So then, but a Samaritan, as he traveled, come where the man was. And when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii and gave it to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have.
Ayan, so bali may tatlong dumaan doon sa nabugbog ng mga robber. So, isa-isa lang natin. Una yung priest, pangalawa yung Levites, and then the next one is yung Samaritan. So si Samaritan, nadaanan niya ito ngayon, yung nabugbog na lalaki. So sabi niya, nakakaawa ka naman. So ginamot niya yung sugat, okay, and then dinala niya or sinakay niya sa kanyang donkey itong lalaki, and then dinala niya sa isang inn. Ang sabi niya doon sa may-ari ng inn or nung attendant sa may inn, na bibigyan kita ah, ng extra payment kung magkakaroon ng as what do you call this, I will give you an extra expense. Sabi, re-reimburse ko kung ano man yung magagasta mo dito sa lalaking ito. So ibig sabihin, bukal kay Samaritan yung pagtulong doon sa lalaki. So the next, what happened, Tutor G? So after that, tinanong ni Jesus, which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? So sabi, the expert in the law replied, the one who had mercy on him. Jesus told him, go and do likewise.
Ayan, diyan na po nagtapos yung ating story, cuties. So, sa Good Samaritan, nakita natin yung tatlong klase nga ng neighbor. So, when Jesus asked, who then is your neighbor? So, sabi ng law expert, the one who had mercy on the poor man, dun sa kinawawang tao. So, sabi ni Jesus, so go then and do the same. Ayan. So, now let's have an activity. Now, this one is medyo mahaba, Tutor 8. So, let me read it. So, my Good Samaritan experience. Like the Good Samaritan, you may have encountered strangers who need help. If there is or are any incident you help somebody unknown to you, please narrate your experiences. So, ang gagawin nila, Tutor 8, is write down on our comment section kung ano yung mga experiences nila, yung naranasan nila sa pagiging good Samaritan nila, kung meron bang time na naging good Samaritan din ba sila. Yan, Tutor AIDS.
Ayan, so Tutor G, yes, sabi mo nga, ita-type nyo rito, tuties, yung naging experience nyo kung paano kayo nakapagpakita ng maganda or bigay ng magandang ehemplo sa inyong mga kasamahan or ibang tao or being a good Samaritan. Paano ba natin na-experience or paano natin na ipakita on our own way ang pagiging good Samaritan natin or pagiging matulungin? So meron niya rito, Tutor G, ayan. Si Casey Lynn Macaraeg Belano, sabi niya, when I was in Cabanatuan Public Market, I saw a woman who dropped her some groceries. So I helped her pick them up. Ayan, sa simpleng pamamaraan ni Casey Lynn, na ipakita niya ang pagiging good Samaritan niya. Ayan, Tutor G.
Yes, Tutor AIDS. So, basahin natin tong next, si Jen Ausa. I remember when we went swimming and while we were in the pool, there was one child who jumped into the pool and didn't know that the pool was too deep for her. So I pulled her up to save her because she couldn't reach the floor of the pool. So yung mga malilit na bagay nito is para sa taong tinulungan mo ay malaking bagay na. Ayan. So, yes, Tutor AIDS.
Ayan, so meron dito, medyo mahaba yung coloring de Guzman. When there's an accident in front of our store, their husband and wife riding in kolong-kolong with a lot of sawali in it, and they accidentally hit a dog because of the heavy load. Their kolong-kolong flipped and the wife flew in the other side of the road while the husband got stuck in the bottom. Since I am part of the NHS rescue team, ayan, and I know some first aid, I rushed into them and give them first aid and help them until they got into the hospital. Maganda yan, Lorraine, na meron kang kaalaman sa first aid, at dahil dyan sa iyong kaalaman ay tinuro sa iyo ng iyong school, ay natutulungan mo ang mga nangangailangan tulad ng mga nung naaksidente sa inyong harapan. Ayan, so Tutor G, babasa pa tayo ng ilan.
Yes, Tutor AIDS. Ito naman po si Ira N. Bantaculo. So, sabi niya, when we went to Manila and a woman approached us asking for food, so I gave her my snack and water. And also, my mom gave her money to buy extra food. Ayan. So, sabi nga natin, Tutor AIDS, no, kahit na maliliit na bagay yan, pinapakita mo na isa kang good Samaritan, na you are willing to help others kahit na walang kapalit. So, ayan. So, marami pa, tutor aids tayong nakikita mga sumusunod na nagbibigay ng answers. So, very good, Truties. Next, now let's move on.
Ayan. So, okay. So, subjectivity. So, maraming salamat bago nga pala sa mga tutis natin, bago natin ituloy, Tutor G. Maraming salamat sa pagpapakita ng inyong pagiging mabuting tao, sa
Yes.
pagpapakita ng inyong pagiging good Samaritan sa ibang tao, ay naipakita nyo na talagang meron pa ring mabubuting tao dito sa ating mundo na tulad ninyo. Ayan, so diretso na tayo, Tutor G, sa ating next topic, which is subjectivity rather. Subjectivity is our personal experience of the world. This is how we perceive the world around us as individuals. Our thoughts, beliefs, sensation, and experiences inside our mind.
Yes, tutor 8. So sa subjectivity, kapag sinabi nating subjectivity, ito ay ang ating personal na karanasan tungkol sa mundo. Ito yung ating pangunawa sa mundong ating ginagalawan bilang mga individual. So, nabibilang dito ang ating mga kaisipan, paniniwala, pakiramdam, pati na rin ang ating mga karanasan. Okay, now let's move on to objectivity. Okay, objectivity is experiencing the world of objects. So this is the world that our body and everyone around us experiences, regardless of whether we perceive or experience them or not. The objective world exists.
Ayan.
Ayan.
So, Tutor G, yung subjectivity kanina, yung ating personal experience. So, objectivity naman, ito yung sinasabi natin, ito yung karanasan natin sa mundo ng mga bagay-bagay. Ito yung nararamdaman o nararanasan ng ating katawan sa ating paligid, kahit pa nararanasin natin ang mga ito or hindi, ang objective word ay, sabi nga rito, the objective word ay umiiral or still nag-e-exist. From the word self, object, okay, mga bagay-bagay. Mga bagay-bagay na ating nararanasan. Okay, so Tutor G, we have here the intersubjectivity in general. So intersubjectivity is a coined word from the prefix inter, which connotes among and between, and the philosophical term subject that is equivalent to a conscious being. Thus, intersubjectivity would mean in the general sense as sharing of subjective states by two or more individuals.
Ayun pala, tutor aids, ang pananggalingan ng salitang intersubjectivity. So, inter meaning among and between at subject, which is equivalent to a conscious being. Ayan. So, in its general sense, sabi mo nga po, sharing of subjective states by two or more individuals. Kaya pag sinabi natin na intersubjectivity, ito ay ang pagbabahagi natin ng ating sarili sa ating kapwa. So in short, ito ay ang ating pakikipagkapwa-tao. Ayan, cuties. Okay, so let's continue. Intersubjectivity. It is the organic union of the subjective reality and the objective reality of beings. Meaning to say, as a person, we have a personal regard to self, but we cannot deny the fact that we live with others. So we also regard them as part of ourselves. So we tend to place ourselves in other shoes and relate to them in good ways as possible, tutor aids.
Ayan. So, yung intersubjectivity pala, Tutor G, ay pinagsamang subjective reality and objective reality. Meaning, sabi rito, na from the word subjective, yun ang personal regard mo sa sarili mo. Personal experience. And then yung objective, yun naman yung experience mo with the others. So hindi natin pwedeng i-deny that we are living in one society or in a community wherein lahat ng experience natin, Tutor G, ay naka-base doon sa paano tayo makisalamuha sa ibang tao. So therefore, hindi daw pwedeng paghiwalayin yung ating personal regard and yung ating objective regard because lagi yon magkasama. Meron ditong naka-highlight, Tutor G. We tend to place ourselves in other shoes and relate them in good ways as possible. Meron tayong mga kasabihan, di ba? Paano kung ako yung nasa kalagayan niya? So yun yung nagpapaikot dito sa intersubjectivity. Paano kung ako yung napahiya, sabi natin? Paano kung ako yung namamalimos? So, di ba parang nakakaawa naman ako. So, from that perspective, tutulungan mo yung iba because nangingibabaw yung intersubjectivity mo, yung ini-place natin yung sarili natin into other shoes. Ayan. So, kumbaga,
Tama,
nire-relate
Tutor
natin
Aids.
yung experience natin dun sa iba. Ayan. So, Tutor G, what philosophers say about intersubjectivity? So we have here Confucius. So sabi ni Confucius, one of the main ideas of Confucianism is Ren or human-heartedness. It is a virtue central to the man that can be found in his sociality or intersubjectivity. In his philosophy, Confucius stresses order and harmony in the world. This means Confucian thinking of intersubjectivity is practical humanism. There is an emphasis on human actions in sociality. He calls everyone to love the other, though actions, not through thoughts.
Yes, Tutor Aid. So
Okay?
sa idea pala ni
Tutor D.
Confucius, yes, Tutor Aid. So sa idea ni Confucius na intersubjectivity, ang pagkakaroon ng Ren or yung sinabi nyo nga po na human-heartedness, ito yung pagkakaroon natin ng puso ng tao. So binigyan diin ang pagkakaroon ng kaayusan at pagkakasundo sa mundo. So his aims can be achieved through practical, concrete, particular, and perceptual ways. Dito papasok ang famous quote ni Confucius na, "Do not do unto others what you do not want to be done to you." So kaya hinihikayat niya ang bawat tao na gamitin ang ating puso at ipakita ang pagmamahal sa ating kapwa sa gawa at hindi lamang sa isip. Ayan. So next we have Martin Buber. So Martin Buber is a Jewish philosopher who introduced the I thou and I it relationships to embody his philosophy of intersubjectivity. So for Buber, we have to treat another person as a subject. Persons are not inanimate objects to be used, so they have their own mind and free will. Thus, we have to respect others as we respect ourselves. So, I refers to the self and thou or you refers to others. So, this I thou relationship is the most meaningful relationship in the realm of humanity.
Okay, so Tutor G. So parang napag-aralan natin last time is about yung I-it relationship. Okay, so ngayon naman inintroduce ni Martin Buber yung I-thou relationship. Meaning I, and then tayo, and then thou, meaning you. Okay? So ito daw yung the most meaningful relationship of humanity. Bakit? Kasi dapat daw nirirespeto natin yung tao or nirerespeto mo yung sarili mo at kung paano mo nirerespeto yung sarili mo, ganun din yung respetong ibibigay mo sa ibang tao because you should have respect to I as well. You treat other as you the same way. Kung paano mo tinatrato yung sarili mo, ganun din dapat daw itatrato yung thou or yung you. So that's why, according to Martin Buber, this is the most meaningful relationship in the realm of humanity. Yan, Tutor G. So meron tayo rito kay Carol Wojtyła from 1920 to 2005. Actually, kilala natin siya, Carol, pero he is the Saint John Paul II. Pero as a philosopher, we use his real name na Carol Wojtyła. Okay? For Carol Wojtyła, human action is the foundation of our being. But human reality is also about being with others, so our actions are also directed towards others. This form of action is now called participation. Okay? In the theory of participation, man has the capacity to share himself to others. This affirms the reality that man acts and exists with others. He is a member of the community of person, a community of I, you, or we.
Yes, Tutor Aid. So since Pan is a member of this community, his experience with others gives him meaning and allows him to create meaning with others. Kaya importante para kay Wojtyła ang kilos bilang pundasyon ng pagiging tao natin. So yung kilos or gawa. Kasama din dito ang idea ng pakikipagkapwa. So kaya ang mga kilos natin ay nakadirekta sa ibang tao. So, sinishare natin ang ating mga sarili for others because we exist with others and we are in a community. So, don't forget that we are in a community, so we do things because we want to be with others. Okay. So, next, let's have an activity. So, this is our pre-assessment. Okay. So, listen well. So, multiple choice. Choose the letter of the best answer. Write the chosen letter in the comment section.
Okay, so Chutis, this is the post-assessment na yata, Tutor G. Tama po ba or pre-assessment pa rin?
Yes, Tutor Aids.
Okay, so number 1, sabi rito, among the statements below, what best describes intersubjectivity? Chutis, letter lamang ang ating isasagot. Is it letter A, intersubjectivity is about how human treat plants? B, it is a state of sharing of subjective states by two or more individuals. C, it is about how we judge other persons. Or D, we treat others as subject in intersubjective relationships. Okay? Pakitype lamang po, chutis, ang number 1 and the letter of correct answer. Ayan. So, habang naghihintay tayo rito, Tutor G, batiin lang natin si Leslie Tongonon. Ayan. And then, Erlinda Paparon. Tama, Paparan Balasonas. Thank you for watching po, mga chutis. Yan. So, meron na tayo nakitang sagot. Tutor G, nauna dyan si Mark Nico Casimiro. Sabi niya number 1, letter B. Sabi ni Kyla Bote, number 1, letter B. And then Althea, number 1, letter B. Ayan, medyo nabubulor na po ang inyong tutor. So, ano nga ba ang tamang sagot, Tutor G? Ayan, letter B. Very good, mga chutis.
Okay, for number 2, which statement is incorrect about intersubjectivity? So, letter A, love is an important aspect in intersubjective relationships. Letter B, we can put ourselves in the shoes of others. Letter C, I can disregard others as much as I want. And letter D, we cannot help but be sensitive with the existence of others. Okay, for number 2, write the letter of your chosen answer. Okay, Tutor Aids. Marami pa rin tayong mga sagot from our number 1 question. Ayan, may nakita na ako, Tutor Aids. Si Samantha Bugarin Kapatoy, ang kanyang answer ay letter C. Si Althea Natividad, ang kanyang answer ay letter C. Si Lorraine, si Alicia, si Charles Joshua Liwanag, letter C. Ayan, puro letter C, Tutor Aids, karamihan ng ating sagot. Ano nga ba ang tamang sagot? Okay, ang tamang sagot, very good, cuties, ay letter C.
Ayan, magagaling ang ating mga chutis. So, number 3, who among the discussed philosophers focus on the concept of human-heartedness in his philosophy of intersubjectivity? Is it Carol Wojtyła? Letter A. Letter B, Martin Buber. C, Confucius. Letter D, Martin Heidegger. So, sino nga ba sa apat ang nag-discuss about the concept of human-heartedness? A, B, C, or D? Okay, type the number and then the correct answer. Ang bilis naman ni Alicia. So, sabi ni Alicia, letter C. Sabi ni Shaira, letter C. Okay, si Jan naman ay number 2 pala yung sinabi ni Jan. Okay, Althea, letter C. Nessie, letter C. Ano nga ba ang tamang sagot, Tutor G? Letter C. Very good, Chuti. Si Confucius nga ang tamang sagot.
Yes, ang gagaling ng ating mga cuties. So for number 4, ito naman. So who is the Jewish philosopher who introduced the I, thou, and I, it relationships? Is it letter A, Carol Wojtyła? Letter B, Martin Buber? Letter C, Confucius? Or letter D, Martin Heidegger. Ayan. So, write down number 4 plus your answer. Okay. So, habang nag-aantay tayo, ay, ang bibilis naman tutor aid. So, napakabilis ni Alicia May Amoyin. Ang kanyang sagot ay letter B. Si Lorraine de Guzman, si Jen, si Althea, letter B. So, marami na tayong sagot. Tutor aids, ano nga ba ang tamang sagot? Ang tamang sagot ay letter B. Very good, cuties.
Gagaling ng ating mga cuties. Wala pang nagmimintis ha. Lahat tumatama. So number 5, what is the main focus of Carol Wojtyła's philosophy of intersubjectivity? Is it letter A, intellect, B, feelings, C, participation, or D, contribution? Ano nga ba ang focus ni Carol Wojtyła sa kanyang philosophy? A, B, C, or D? Type number 5 and then the correct answer. Ayan, Tutor G, nakikita ko pa rin dito, marami pa rin sumasagot sa number 4 pero nanguna na si Althea Natividad sa pagsagot. Sabi niya, number 5 is letter C. Si Alicia ang pumangalawa, 5 letter C. Then si Shaira, letter C. Si Nicole, si Nessie, si Casey Lynn, si VJ ay letter C. Ano nga ba ang tamang sagot, Tutor G? Letter C. Ang gagaling lahat sila, Tutor G. Letter C ang sinagot. Magagaling, cuties.
Now, let's have our assessment. Okay, cuties. So, let me read first. In our present society, we can notice all kinds of inequality, injustice, and all sorts of abuses. In order to create a better world, we have to be sensitive about these things and respond in kind manner. So, okay. So, here's the directions. Below are societal problems which need solution from intersubjective point of view. So, understand each statement and give concrete solutions. Use the ideas on intersubjectivity elaborated by the philosophers we discussed. Okay.
Okay, so per situation natin, instead of showing mercy, many people make fun of person with disability. So, cuties, kung kayo, tama ba, Tutor G? Magko-comment sila, okay,
Yes, Tutor Aids.
ng mga dapat gawin kung ma-encounter nila yung ganitong situation. So instead of showing mercy,
Yes.
nakakita kayo ng tao na pinagtatawanan yung person with disability. So kung kayo, as a good Samaritan, Tutor G, ano ang gagawin natin? So nakakita na ako ng sagot, Tutor G. Andiyan si Bea. Such people should be told, especially if they know they have disability, they have the desire to joke, they do not want to have a disability. We should help and respect them and treat them no one else. Ayan, yung keyword niya, Tutor G, ay respect.
Yes.
Yan, meron pa sumagot, si Lorraine, let's just treat them like how we treat ordinary people and be kind. Kasi they are just an ordinary people din. So maraming sumasagot, Tutor G, pero hindi na natin
Thank you.
mababasa lahat. Thank
Yes.
you. At ayan, maraming sumasagot, Tutor G. So number 2 na
Yes.
tayo, Chutis.
Yes, for number 2, Chutis, regarding rape issue. So, medyo mabigat to na question ay na situation. Regarding rape issue, women are blamed because of the types of clothes that they wear. So, ano ang iyong gagawin sa ganitong situation? Ano ang iyong idea pag ganito yung situation? Okay, so, 'di ba, yung issue tungkol sa rape, so nasisisi daw ang mga kababaihan dahil sa mga sinusuot nilang mga damit. Ayan, Tutor Aids, may sagot na si Casey Lynn Macaraeg Belano. Ang kanyang sagot, wear clothes that make you feel comfortable. It is not in how women dress that they become victims of rape or abuse, but in the views of men who are rude and lustful. The way of dressing should not be changed, but the mindset of the majority should be. Okay. And another one, Tutor Aids, we have Bea Empainado. Ang kanyang sagot, this is not always the case. I think that these things happen because of one's interest to do these things to woman. There are children or young adults that are being raped that do not wear revealing clothes but they still get raped. It is about the lewd thoughts one has for the woman, not on how they dress. Ayan, Tutor 8. So, ang dami nating mga natanggap na mga kasagutan. Thank you, Tuties. Nakakataba ng puso ang inyong mga sagot. Very good kayong lahat dyan. Ayan. Tutor 8?
Ayan. Chutis, very good kayo at talaga namang napakaraming idea ng mga chutis natin sa hapong ito, Tutor G. Actually, dumadagsa pa rin yung mga comment nila. Kahit medyo mahaba, talagang pinagtsagaan nilang i-type yan para ma-express lang nila yung nararamdaman nila at gusto nilang sabihin. Okay? So, Chutis, to wrap up our session, sabi rito, no human relationship is perfect. Tama nga naman. It always has its ups and down because every individual in a relationship is unique and different from each other. However, differences are not the hindrance to intersubjective relationship but how we communicate. Yan po ay galing sa pillownotes.com. Yan. So muli, narito po ang bumubuo ng Senior High School Humanities and Social Sciences.
Yes, lagi po tayong sumubaybay tuwing alas 4 ng hapon para sa Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person.
Citizenship of young learners in the present technological age. Remember, play safe, learn safe, and stay safe.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na Itulay Tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag #ItulayLevelUp. Huwag aalis ha dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa Itulay!